quarterback rolling right. He's looking end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
Saturdays are sacred. A football podcast.
What is up, everybody, and happy 2026. We are in the fourth day of the new year, and we've already had some explosive games, some upsets. College football is hitting its peak at this moment. We're going to dive all into the quarterfinal of the college football playoff. We're going to talk some possible landing spots from quarterbacks in the portal. And all things college football here on Saturdays are sacred. We hope you guys had a great holiday and a happy new year to start. I think it's been solid. Not the best for me personally as a Georgia fan, but we hope you guys are doing well. But before we get too far into everything today, Cody, how are you doing, man?
Doing well, yeah. I mean, it's fourth day of the new year, which still feels weird. I still say 2025 all the time, so I still got to get used to 2026. But yeah, some good games, some blowouts, but some good games in the quarterfinals there. And I think we have a couple good matchups in the semifinals too. So can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into it as well. We got a lot to talk about, some big time things, right? So the title of this is "The Bye is a Curse," and we got two teams who were had the first round bye lose. So let me start with this. Was it 3?
Yeah.
Indiana won, Texas Tech lost, Georgia lost, and then who's the
Ohio State?
Ohio State, yeah. So 3 teams. Yeah, I'm tripping. 3 teams. So the question is let's start off with, is it too much time between games if you're the top 4 teams?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it. I think it's 1-7 in the first 2 years of the 12-team playoff. All 4 teams that had a bye last year lost, and then 3 out of the 4 this year. I think it's a couple of things. Like I'm kind of like on the train that a lot of people are, that like these bye teams, like they kind of get a disadvantage. They got to wait 2 weeks. Obviously, you're in the second round, but then you don't get a home game either. I think there should be home games for these bye teams. They've earned that spot. So like if Miami's playing in Columbus instead of in the Cotton Bowl, do they win that game? I don't know. Maybe not. If Ole Miss has to go to Athens again, do they win that game? Probably not. So it's like that makes a difference. In these teams, they've won their conferences. They've had good records. They've earned themselves a bye. Like they probably should be playing on the home field. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just like going forward, maybe you don't kill you. I wonder if these teams are going to think about it, because like Ole Miss, Kiffin even said it before he left. Like he didn't want to go to the conference championship game. He'd rather be, get that little bye in conference championship week, but then play in the first round because you get a home game. Like Oregon, I thought was set up perfectly. They get a home game against JMU, and then you get a play, and now you're playing in like back-to-back, where like week and a half was in between, but back-to-back weeks. So you're staying fresh while you're playing a team that hasn't played for like 2.5, almost 3 weeks. Right. So maybe there is an advantage there, and maybe we'll see teams maybe not. I won't say they won't try to win their conference, but it's not going to be as like a big of a deal as it has been in the past.
Right. Yeah, I definitely think that we need to move up the season for sure. I think
that too, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that we're going to have back-to-back weeks of the last 2 games of the season, but like it's kind of weird because like you can see it to where there's if you have a team that's been beat up, they get that extra couple weeks if you earned it and got that top 4 seed to get another week to kind of really it was kind of like a month almost if to just kind of get some players back, hopefully. But at the same time, you run that risk of like, what do we do? Like, how do we keep the schedule going? Do you let the kids rest after a long season, or do you just kind of try to keep the wear on them going? So it's a weird balance, but I think maybe 1 week max, would be enough. And then you just kind of roll with what you got. Because, momentum does matter, especially going into the playoffs. So it's like if you got a team that's hot and you see it in the NFL and you see what's in the FCS, where a team that just has that momentum and is keep going, that keeps playing, it, they don't deter from their routine. They continue to be dangerous in that playoff game. So rest versus wear and tear, it's going to be a tough decision, but I do think like we need to start playing on week 0. And, obviously the NFL is stealing weekends away from college football, which shouldn't be happening. Like, I think there should be a full on focus on the college football playoff, especially to get as much money as possible to keep with their splits, revenue splits, and even to help with some G5 teams or whatever. I do think that the Pop-Tart Bowl should be a college football playoff game because I think they've earned it.
Love that game. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like, we'll see if they'll make any changes this offseason. Obviously, now with teams who are continuously still playing, it's tough to try to do your visits now that the portal is open. Say for Oregon, Indiana, Miami, and Ole Miss, especially Ole Miss with that disaster. What's going on down there? Especially with let me ask you this question too, because we'll break into that game a little bit. But do you think Lane Kiffin leaving helped Ole Miss?
You know what's weird? Because I thought it was going to hurt them. Not in the Tulane game. I thought they'd be Tulane. I thought it'd be closer than it was. I thought Tulane would cover, but it was like I thought it would hurt them in this game against Georgia, just because it's like Charlie Weiss Jr. is calling plays now, but it's like we knew who was calling plays during the season. That's Lane Kiffin's thing. So I thought, like, okay, you're going up against a tougher team, a defense, a team that knows you. Are you going to be able to pull out some of these plays that Kiffin could? And I mean, it didn't, and maybe that's more Trinidad Chambliss than the play caller, but that it didn't. So what I think it helped them in this way. It's like I think they're just playing like that us against everyone mentality, like us against the world mentality, because like some of their coaches have left, some of their players are rumored to leave as well. So it's like this could be it. This is the run that they want to be on, and it's also just like they want to show the world. It's like, hey, like we could still do this. It wasn't just Kiffin. Like we're still a good team. We're still a good roster. We still have a good coaching staff. It wasn't just Lane Kiffin just taking us here. And like, I'm going to be honest, I'm rooting for them now because I think it would be awesome to see them win the whole thing and like shove it in Kiffin's face. Like, oh yeah, you told us you couldn't win a title here.
Right.
Like that's why you left. And it's like, he could coach 5 years at LSU and never make it to the semifinals like they are right now.
Yeah, and it's like he's so active on Twitter and tries to be like when people talk crap about me, like he just conveniently slides in and just hey, like that's so false. It's like you always wanted to spotlight and you want people to talk about you, which this is what you're enjoying. But it's like if Ole Miss goes on and win this national championship, like he's fine because he's still going to get $1 million for that bonus that LSU is going to pay out for him. But at the same time, it's like the pressure's on you now because it's even more on you because it's like, dude, like that should have been your national championship. Now it's going to be Paul Golding's national championship. Right. And now Paul Golding has 2 playoff wins, which is the third most playoff wins. And, I think it's the SEC or just in general. But it's like now it's even more pressure. You're making all this money, Lane. And then it's like, you still haven't won a playoff game. You haven't won a conference championship outside of FAU. So it's like, now it's like, what's going on here? Paul Golding's already, in a sense, more accomplished than you are. And maybe he obviously laid the foundation, Lane laid the foundation for Paul to get to that point. But his defense, Paul Golding's defense has improved dramatically over the last month.
Big time.
And they're shutting teams out and playing stout defense and making opportune plays and just, really just dialing it up. And I'm proud of Paul Golding because obviously, like, I watched one of the videos or interviews he did. He said he never really wanted to be a head coach. Like, he's like, I was always content of wanting to be just a coordinator. So, like, that's a great spot to have a guys who are like that, who just wants to be great at that. But I think because how much he is like so into the craft of coaching defense, and I think players just naturally loved him, grew to him, saw how detailed he was, obviously under that Saban tree where he understands what you need to do. And he said he also made a FU book, like things that, I like that we're doing here that does well, but then also like, hey, but if I did, become head coach and I can make some changes, these are all, he already has like a book of things that he wants to change to be more of a strict, maybe a little bit more, militant type culture, which I think you're starting to see kind of an Ole Miss started to inhabit. Obviously, the toughest thing for Paul Golding is how do you recruit? How do you
Right.
can you keep? This Chambers comes back. Austin Simmons already left and is going to the portal, so you're going to have to either try to recruit him back or to figure that out as well. So it's like, who can you bring in to build on this? How much of this roster can you retain once this run is over? Like, if they make it to the national championship, does that just change people's minds of like, you know what? I don't need to go to LSU. We can win here. This is what we said was the mission. And like, I'm not going to be brainwashed to think because of Lane left, we can't win here. But at the same time, it's going to be very pivotal to who's going to be calling plays next year. What kind of talent are you be able to retain next year? As well for Ole Miss. So, and now that they're going to have to be a team that is a late portal team in terms of like, hey, like we weren't able to have our full resources to go straight into the portal right now. We have to see what's there, be proactive. Do we have enough of a staff that's able to do all of this work that we need to do on a short period of time? And so I don't know if that's going to be possible next year.
Right. Yeah, I think it's like for Golding right now, I think it's all in on these next two games, of course. And then it's like, okay, we deal with everything else after, especially like if you get a championship, you don't really care. Like we'll deal with it, but we can kind of ride off of that for the next couple of years. And then that's our recruiting pitch for the next couple of years as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm super shocked. Like going into that game against Georgia, I just didn't see them I didn't see that they could win that game. Like, okay, maybe they can keep it close. That offense is still really good. And like their defense has gotten better, but I just don't see them winning that game. But Chambliss played out of his mind. He looked like Johnny Manziel in parts of that game. It was like, damn. And yeah, the defense was hitting. I mean, shoot, they tried to just murder Gunnar Stockton on that one play. It was like, damn.
He was getting absolutely obliterated.
It's like, dang. It's like if they can hit like that against Miami and Beck, I think they got a chance in that game too. But yeah, just going back to Golding, I think, like you said, he's got 2 wins. I think it's tied with the third most in the SEC as coaches. Like obviously, Smart and Saban have the most. I think he's tied with Coach O because Coach O only won 2 games to win that national championship for LSU. But yeah, that's a lot more than, I mean, Lane Kiffin, you could say, got you to the playoff this year. But like, does Lane Kiffin beat Georgia? On Wednesday night, Wednesday night. Because like he beat Georgia last year in Oxford, but he didn't beat Georgia this year in Athens. So it's like, I think you got a lot of momentum if you're Golding and you're just going to use this as a pitch. It's like, hey, look at Kiffin got us here to the playoff, got us to the dance, but I got us even further. And I can like we have the offensive talent, but I coach defense too. So it's like, we're going to be better on defense just because of my influence. So I think they're heading in a really good direction. And if I was Golding, like you said, he never thought he'd be a head coach, but now maybe you take over just a better situation and just keep it rolling.
Yeah, and my thing is too is like if I'm Charlie Weiss, why am I going back to LSU? I'm trying to break that contract, dude. Like, I need to figure. I'm trying to look it up now, but like I'm trying to figure out who did. I think they already hired someone to be their new OC, but I just feel like I have to try to get Charlie Weiss back because he's been great. And I get his allegiance to because Charlie Weiss has been everywhere with Lane, and he's developed him. I don't want to say the G word, but he, as a young corner, because he's still like early 30s. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's been with him since FAU when he was like 28 or something like that, 25, something crazy. But I don't know. Maybe, obviously Golding has John David Baker will be the coordinator who was.
Oh, I've heard that name. Yeah.
I don't know where he was at.
But it's like for Weiss, it's like you can get out of Kiffin's shadow and do your own thing. Yeah.
Oh, actually, I like this hire. He was the offensive coordinator for East Carolina. East Carolina's offense was really good this year. So
yeah,
that's good. And I think their quarterback also hit the portal. Kitten. No, what is his last name?
It's something like that. It's KIT. It is something like that. Yeah. I watched their game against Pitt. He actually looked pretty good in that bowl game against Pitt. I can't remember what bowl game that was, but
yeah, I was profiling him early this year because I look at all the quarterbacks in the Carolinas. He was up there for sure. And so he's going to get an opportunity to make some money. So maybe Ole Miss could be a natural landing spot with his coordinator coming there, which could be an easy transition for them. And maybe they can steal Cam Coleman from Auburn. Oh, that would be big time if Ole Miss can do that. Maybe
he's going out west. He's going out west. I'm just hoping. he's got a visit next week, so it's like lock it down.
Right.
Throw that bag.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but we could talk about the Georgia game since we're kind of already there. I mean, this was easily probably the best game of the weekend of the week.
For sure.
Two juggernauts just kind of Ole Miss is rising to the occasion, and Georgia kind of, it took them a little bit to realize, we can run the football on these guys. Like, why the heck did we come out? We get like drive one. Like, if we'd have done that the first two drives of the game, I think, they could have maybe, got some more points. But obviously Georgia, settling for field goals, not be able to, get points. Missed a 55-yard field goal in the first half. That also could have been, pivotal for them. Ole Miss kicker was just absolutely insane making those long field goals. I think he broke the college football playoff record with his 55 and then 56-yard field goal he made. So it's like, hey, every point matters. Maybe Dan Campbell should learn from that. So I was kind of a good just getting points on the board, getting a stop, and then for the Ole Miss to keep going and just to be relentless. And they just have a never say die attitude, which I really like about this Ole Miss team. Even though when it kind of, looked like Georgia was really getting that momentum when they got that scoop six early in that game. But the offense just didn't really, for Georgia, the offense just didn't really consistently get those first downs. But that's credit to Ole Miss, who really kind of like threw a lot at them and was, made timely stops and plays when they needed to. So I thought it was a really good game for both sides. It was a tough way to lose. Obviously, like not a great decision at the end of the game, not, going for it to score a touchdown, but trying to go for a field goal. I didn't think that was the right decision at that time. So some questionable decision-making for Kirby late in that game, but much credit to Ole Miss for getting that dub that really no one really expected them to get, which we can say that about a couple times this weekend. But yeah, Ole Miss advanced, and now it's like the whole, will the Ole Miss staff that's going to LSU be able to continue to keep coaching for Ole Miss while they have a lot of duties to recruit at LSU? So,
yeah, that'll be interesting. I think they said yesterday that they're planning on them being there, but it's like, how invested are they? Because now they're recruiting portal players for LSU, so that's going to be awkward. But I mean, think about it. There's other teams like Oregon's dealing with that situation with their coordinators. Miami and Indiana are all staying there, but it's just a weird time. That's just college football on the calendar there. But yeah, just back to the game. Like, I was super impressed with Ole Miss because when I think it was 21-12 going into halftime when Ole Miss kind of screwed up the last play and didn't get time to get a field goal. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, this feels like a classic Georgia win. They'll probably come out, get a touchdown, and then like Ole Miss is just playing catch up the whole time and never can really catch up. And then Ole Miss came out in that third quarter just on fire. Chambliss was making plays all over the place. Their defense was getting stops. I'm with you. I don't know why Georgia didn't run the ball more until like Frazier got hurt. Then I get it. You can't run as much. But even like Stockton was a threat running the ball. Like when he took off, he was a threat running the ball. And it's like you weren't using the tight ends. You were like trying to force it to the receivers. And like it's really just Branch is like the receiving threat for you. So I thought it was a weird offensive game plan, especially in the second half for Georgia. But I mean, kudos to Ole Miss, and then Ole Miss goes up 10. Georgia comes back, gets a touchdown, a field goal to tie it. That throw, I don't know what Georgia's doing playing like bump and run man when it's 3rd and like 7, and you can even let them get the first down. They just can't get behind you to get in field goal range, and that guy just gets beat off the line easily, and it's just and Chambliss puts it right in the bucket, and basically all you have to do is get across the 50 for that field goal kicker for Ole Miss, and like you're in field goal range because that guy's just money. Right. So yeah, it was weird. I wouldn't go as far as like goaling out coach Kirby Smart, but there was definitely some moments where it was just like this Georgia team's making mistakes we just don't see these Georgia teams make. Mm-hmm. And Ole Miss, to their credit, like took advantage of it. Like that 4th down when like I think Georgia's on like their own 30-something yard line, and Kirby said after the game that was supposed to just be a draw off sides. That wasn't supposed to be a snap ball. And then like Stockton can't get the throw off. And so you basically hand them 3 points because you give them the ball on your own 30-yard line. So there was just some questionable decisions there, I think, by Georgia that kind of led to Ole Miss, but Ole Miss capitalized it. So you got to give credit to Ole Miss for capitalizing on those mistakes by Georgia. And yeah, this was by far the best game of the weekend. Best game of the not weekend, I guess, got best game of the 2 nights. But I mean, this Ole Miss team, you got to feel confident. You just beat a team that was, I think they were either second or third favorites to win the whole thing behind Indiana, Ohio State. And I knew a lot of people like myself. I had my bracket. I took Georgia to beat Ohio State in the next round and to win the whole thing. So I know there's other people out there that thought similar. So you should feel super confident going up against Miami, even though Miami looks just ridiculous, especially their pass rush. But I think you got to feel confident going into that game. Like, hey, we just kind of defeated our Goliath, a team that we always struggle with. Like, we can, like, sky's the limit now.
Yeah. I think the defense looks like you can travel that. So I think Ole Miss does look good for the next round. The thing is, does Chambers have to play hero ball in order for it to, like,
right,
chug them all the way to the national championship? And that's my only concern. And we can talk about that more later. But let's talk about the other spectacular upset that we had this week, which was Ohio State losing to Miami. And Miami was absolutely dominating that first half of that game. And like, they just looked so motivated. They looked like a team that was possessed. They saw meat and they were starving for this opportunity against Ohio State. No one gave them a chance. And like, that defense was absolutely hunting. They were head hunting and they were just everywhere. Great pick 6 in that first half. Like, they just made Julian Sand just uncomfortable. Like, absolutely. I mean, it was a great performance. Obviously, I think they wound up scoring 24. But like, it was kind of like, it started to get a little clunky in the second half. Ohio State made that comeback. They fought back in, and Jeremiah Smith was just absolutely great. But man, this Miami team, they're a team full of freaks, to be honest with you. Like, and not in a bad way, but in terms of, like, Mario Cristobal can recruit the heck out of the state of Florida, Miami. And there's people, I think it was a tweet about one of the Ohio State assistant coaches had to try to break up all the love that they were giving Jeremiah Smith as a tactic. They was like, are they trying to recruit him back to Miami? Which he stated in the interview, he said, I would have went to Miami if they were winning more when I was, in high school. So it's like, now they're winning. Then, they beat you guys. Is there a way maybe he goes to a little reunion to Miami maybe next year, try to jar him away from Ohio State? I doubt it, but, I'm here for the chaos.
Yeah, Hartline's leaving, so maybe.
That's true. And, and also it's not the best that, Ryan Day took over play calling and the offense didn't really perform great. No. What was your thought of that Miami-Ohio State game?
Yeah, I'm with you. That we started off saying there, like, that defense. I mean, those two, what is it, Bain and Mesidor, those pass rushers, those guys are first-round picks. Bain's probably a top 5 pick in the NFL draft coming up. Like, he's just a stud. And they got after it. They only got 5 sacks, but I think they were in the backfield like every play, it seems like, on Sayham. And you saw now, like, the Indiana game and the Big Ten championship game, and then this game, like, you could kind of rattle Sayham if you get after him, you hit him a couple of times, like, because he was just basically looking for Jeremiah Smith most of the game. It was like, all right, well, where's number 4? And, like, trying to get it to him. But yeah, that defense, and then that pick 6. Jeremiah Smith didn't miss that block on the pick 6 on the little screen. But that was a huge play. And Miami, they just came out. They came out like they were prepared. They were ready to go. Ohio State came out a little sluggish. And I think they, like you said, they had heard all week, like, oh, no one's really giving you a chance. You're a 10-point or a 9.5-point underdog. Like, you're a nice story. You got your one win against A&M, but this is where the story stops. And, like, they're like, no, we're good. Like, we're a good team. We can play with these guys. Our lines of, and that's a big thing. Like, the line of scrimmage for both sides, for Miami, offense and defensive line, is better than Ohio State. Their defensive line is better than Ohio State. Their offensive line, that one left tackle, was it Francis Muigao, or I never pronounce his name right, but he's a top 10 pick too. So it's like, they're like, okay, well, you guys might have the tool, like the wide receivers are better, but we're better where it counts. And they showed that all night. Like, they ran the ball well. They protected Carson Beck. And then, on the defensive side, they just got after it. And I think they hit Ohio State in the mouth early, and Ohio State couldn't really respond until it was kind of like too late.
Right.
And it was like, well, now you guys are down 10. Can you respond? Can you come back? Can you get a stop? And they couldn't. So they did something. And it kind of goes back to like something we've talked about a little bit too. It's like Ohio State's schedule outside of like Texas in the beginning of the season, then Indiana in the Big Ten championship game, because I think they were much better than Michigan. So I don't even know if that's a really tough game. Didn't really have a tough schedule. So most games they knew like, okay, well, we're just the better team. We'll just go do our thing and we'll win the game. Was like, well, Miami's got a lot of 5-star talent on their roster too. So it's like, you can't just go out there and be like, we have more talent. We'll just do our thing. And they kind of got exposed a little bit. I still think they were a really good team, but maybe they weren't the number one team, the best team that we thought all year, the unquestioned best team all year. And maybe there is a lot more work to do there. Like, I thought Julian Sand was a slam dunk number one, like, draft pick next year when he's available. But now he's starting to show like he's not exactly mobile. You can rattle him. His completion percentage isn't great when you're hitting him and when you're getting after him. So I think Miami showed that they're a really good team. They're a really good roster, and they could win this whole thing.
Yeah, to that point, when you were talking about Ohio State, I think with Ohio State, they lost a lot of those key leaders last year, and they lost those people who've been through those hardships of understanding, losing to Michigan, obviously, and there's still a few people like that who were there on roster last year, but like those real like vocal leaders, I think it was just kind of a shame, and I just think you need a mixture of heart and talent, guys who are just not gonna say I'm not gonna let us lose this game, and I don't think Ohio State had enough of those people. I just think Miami just had way too many of those people, and they had that better mixture of heart and talent and determination. In this game, and I looking at kind of trying to predict next game. It's like, all right, Miami, you can take a run game on the road, you can take that to the next round, you can take that relentless defense. So it's like, and they're just continues to be hungry. They got Michael Irvin belt to ass, celebrations, and Ray Lewis on the sidelines just going crazy, probably giving some insane pregame speeches. They probably got all the the alumni coming back, the Hall of Famers. After Hall of Famers, Jason Taylor is working with their edge rushers, who's obviously at that. It's like an advantage for them.
Oh, big time.
So maybe, letting Miami into the – I mean, obviously Notre Dame fans are still going to be mad because this could have been us too, but I don't know if I don't think they got as many freaks on their team as Miami does.
No way. And it's like, just beat Miami. You would have been there. You had your opportunity. Yeah.
So, I like this Miami team. I think they are it's going to be interesting to see because, like, we're going to – obviously now we're going to have a new national champion this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so between Miami and Ole Miss, like I wouldn't say, I guess Miami, preseason, like people thought this is what there would be, so they're kind of starting to actually live up to those expectations. But definitely, I don't know. I'll say preseason people really thought Ole Miss would be in this situation in preseason, but like they were always like a dark horse. Obviously, they kept knocking on the door or in the hallway, you can say, of possibly getting to this world. But we'll do the preview later. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting. Next week. All right, so let's talk about some snooze fest of some games. To be honest, the day started off, New Year's Day started off with Oregon, Texas Tech at 12, and I mean it was a defensive game in that first half, 6-0. Oregon was up just a couple field goals. I mean it was a turnover early, but Texas Tech's defense was creating stops, and they didn't allow Oregon too many chances to score and kind of bust the game open until late. And obviously, Texas Tech quarterback That's going to be, I know they're going to be sending money, which I saw a video of Texas Tech's facilities, I guess like a recruit thing. Holy moly, their facilities are insane.
That oil money, man, it runs deep.
Yeah, like I saw they have like this like I don't even know how to. It's like an indoor. It's not like a practice facility, but it kind of is like a practice area where they have a big projector, and there's like a turf field that's pretty wide, and so they're doing like walkthroughs, and they can also watch tape while they do the walkthrough at the same time, which is like that's freaking awesome. Like I never even thought about that. Like yeah, like. Because you know how like, you gotta be in the film room and you gotta like harp on like now we're practicing it and going through the walkthrough and harping on what we talked about in the film room. Now we could combine both of them at the same time, where it's like watching the film, going through it, lining up with it. I'm like, holy crap, that's duh, that makes sense. Like their facilities are amazing,
right?
And Texas Tech should probably be the next team either in the Big Ten or SEC probably soon, but they probably don't need to. If they can get them one of them ACC deals where you can keep all of the playoff money if you were to make it. That's what Miami's doing. That full $14 million they just won. They get to keep all of it, not share it with nobody in the ACC, which that conference will definitely be dissipated very soon with these terrible deals for the conference itself. But and a terrible media deal, to be honest, too. So but yeah, I mean Texas Tech it's a shame. They had a really good defense. They had some really good. I mean, they're a good team. Obviously, they're going to be like Miami. Honestly, Texas Tech and Miami are very similar to where it's like they're going to be in the portal every single year to get that quarterback, and because I think they have everything else around them. I think Rodriguez is going to be in the draft this year, right? Or is
I think so. Him and Bailey too. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's going to be tough to be able to try to replace that. But, I mean, I think they will. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll
drop some bags. Yep.
But, we'll see, like, if they can continue this momentum. Obviously, they got a big NIL collective that's, like, really hungry to make a big difference and to be a top team to outproduce Texas Longhorns. And obviously – being in a Big 12, it kind of is beneficial for them to stay there just because it's like, I don't want to say it's an easy run, but it's probably, I think the Big 12 is probably tougher than ACC at this moment. Slightly. But, I think they're in a good spot where they are at right now. But, yeah, tough. I mean, because this Oregon team is just, they're hardened. They have the mental makeup to kind of outlast the duel like this, and they did, and they got better as the game went on. But what do you think about that Oregon-Texas Tech game?
Yeah, like you said, definitely a snooze fest, but good defense on both sides. I thought Texas Tech's defense played really well, even though they lost, I think 23-0. It definitely wasn't on them. Like, yeah, they got exposed on offense, and you got that money. You got to go in the transfer portal. You got to go find a quarterback. There's some good ones. I don't know if I'd say there's any great quarterbacks in the portal. There's some good quarterbacks, though, that are better than what you had that can help you move the ball. Because that Morton kid he couldn't do anything. And that Oregon defense was just all over them. So I don't know how much to take from Oregon. I think their defense played really well. The offense didn't really play great, but they didn't have to because just how bad Texas Tech's offense was. And Texas Tech's defense got after Oregon. They just were given terrible. They were on the field all day. And a lot of times they were in their own territory because Texas Tech was turning over the ball. So it's like I can't put too much on Texas Tech's defense because I thought they played really well. With Oregon going forward, like you got Decorian Moore back. It looks like Evan Stewart's going to play some more. Like you're getting some of your studs back, but they looked a little rusty. Dante Moore, I think Dante Moore's a good quarterback. I think he needs another year of college. I don't know if he's ready to come out to the pros right now, especially like you're not going one. Most likely the Raiders are going to get Mendoza, so you're going to fall to like the Jets or some team like that. It's like that could be real rough. That could be, you could be out of the league real quick. So it's like I think he should go back, go make $5 million at Oregon and go play at Oregon again with that team and have another chance to win a title. But, not a lot to take away from this game. I think Texas Tech will be around. You just look at the Big 12, like Whittingham leaves Utah, so it's like how good's Utah going to be? And he took like the defensive coordinator from BYU, so that's going to hurt BYU. So it's like I think you can run that.
No, his son is at he was at the Chiefs. His Chiefs.
The Chiefs, yeah. Now he's falling into Michigan, but it's like where's your major competition? And like maybe Dillingham gets it rolling, keeps it rolling at ASU. Arizona could be decent, but it's like I don't know if there's a
Colorado.
Lot of, like they keep signing wide receivers, but like they got a couple good transfer portal wide receivers already. But it's like, okay, who's going to block for them? Who's going to throw them the ball?
I'm hearing Jordan Seaton might be leaving.
I say Jordan Seaton could be leaving. Is he draft eligible or?
No, I want to say he's a sophomore. I want to say
I thought he was a sophomore too.
He could be in the portal though. That's what I'm hearing.
He could be in the portal. So it's like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it when it's Colorado. But so it's like that. You keep spending the way you're spending. You get that defense to play like you have. Like I think you can run the Big 12 for a while, and maybe you join the Big 10 or SEC. But if they keep giving these automatic spots to the Big 12, like why not just dominate the Big 12 and get in like every year, basically? So I think Texas Tech will be fine. You just got to spend more on offense. Your defense is going to be really good. But yeah, Oregon, I don't know. We'll see. They're going up against like Indiana in the next round, and Indiana looks just like a juggernaut right now. So I don't know. And they've already lost to them. Didn't really take much from Oregon. Their defense played well, but I think that was a lot of just bad offense from Texas Tech as well.
Yeah. I think Dante Moore will stay another year. I just think he's like, I mean, he's still 20. Like he's still really young. So like even if he stays for another year, he'll be 21, 22 into the league, which would be fine. He does need another year of development. And I want to see if he can really kind of let it fly next year, to be really even more comfortable with finally getting a full year of starting. And yeah, I'm excited. I do think Oregon has another gear to go up, and I think they're doing what they have to do to advance in this tournament. So it's like this next game is going to be so pivotal because it's a revenge game. So Landon got that speech on lock. Right, like he's like, like we came. I think because they lost to them in Indiana.
No, it was in Oregon.
Oh yeah, so they came into their house. So it's like there's definitely a lot of things I know he can do, and we've seen so many times where it's hard to beat the same team multiple times in the season.
Oh, big time!
And so I think that's going to be really cool to see. So I think that's why I'm excited for that game. Because it's kind of like you get a powerhouse versus like an up-and-comer team that was sleeper. That's the potential we got for the national championship this year, which I think is fun. So, and then the potential of like Indiana, the losing its most college football team in the country, opportunity to win the national championship. That's also really cool. People are finally like, oh, this is not the same Indiana that you keep thinking of. Even though sometimes it's hard for me to kind of default back into that. Like I kind of was thinking like, Alabama show up, but like this is the Alabama we saw, like the last month. I'm having arguments with people like who just don't watch football because I'm just like, bro, what are you talking about? And so it's terrible takes, which we'll talk more about once we get into the review of Indiana, Alabama. But yeah, like I think Texas Tech will be fine. And I think Oregon has another gear that can go up.
I think so too. Yeah,
that's why I think we're in for a pretty good semifinal for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about the last News Festival game and the straight beating that Indiana put on Alabama Crimson Tide. 38-3 was the final score of that game. Mendoza 3 touchdowns. Running game looked good. Roman Hemby ran it well. Kalen Black ran it really well. So, I mean, this Indiana team looked good. The defense was swarming, made Ty Simpson uncomfortable. So uncomfortable that they benched Ty Simpson in this game, which was kind of astonishing. That might just completely derail his draft hopes. Which, I mean, he's kind of been doing that for the last month himself.
Right.
There's talks about him possibly, depending on what his draft grade will be, him entering the portal and going to a team maybe like Oregon, depending on what Dante Moore does, or somewhere, which I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah, I do too.
So I think he can make some money, maybe go to Miami. Who knows what they would want. But yeah, Indiana looked great in this game. They were in control of this from the beginning. I think they went up 17-0 at halftime. Just made plays, easy open throws by the receiver. Fernando Mendoza just kind of was just playing like he was playing golf on a Sunday. Like he was just,
pretty much
what he had to do. Running backs ran hard, throwing off defenders, scoring touchdowns, just putting this game away. The defense was swarming. Like this is a complete team, and they're fresh, obviously because Signetti don't practice long. They are very efficient in their time. I think they're really good. I think they got a really good team. This could be their year, but they're going to have to really lock in against Oregon. That's going to be a big matchup for them. But in terms of Alabama, man, DeBoer lost a week too late, to be honest, for him. But
right, yeah.
It depends on how the season goes next year. I just don't think this is the recipe for Alabama football. Alabama football has always been a team that stems their game off of strong defensive performances and a good run game. Even when you have some of the top tier receiver talent and DB talent, they come through there. But like this is just so many things that we're not used to seeing Alabama play like. And just wanting to be an air raid, spread the ball first team, and then try to run the ball is not the way Alabama plays football. And I know DeBoer is trying to turn that around, and he's trying to get the players in that he wants. Obviously, having a mass exodus when Nick Saban did leave was tough. Obviously, Caleb Downs. I mean, Julian Sain should have been a starting quarterback for them because he was at Alabama.
Right.
Downs was there. So many guys left. I don't think DeBoer makes it the next 2 years at Alabama, to be honest with you. How he recruits. I mean, Keon Russell is, in theory, him or Austin Mack are the next two in line if they don't go into the portal and get someone. I don't know. I just don't know. Like this Alabama team, I can't recognize it. And they started. I mean, if they would have kept their form how they were early in the year, obviously they had injuries. They were electric in the middle of or early, well, not the early, but like in the middle of the year.
Right.
That early loss. I mean, they were pretty electric, but they also kind of had some not the greatest game teams that they were playing at the same time. So, yeah, I don't know. What Alabama team goes from here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, just that game, total beat down by Indiana, just domination, both sides of the ball. Like Mendoza was only like 14 to 16 for 192, but he had 3 touchdowns. But he didn't have to do much more because they were just handling them on defense, running the ball well. They had over 200 yards rushing, and this game was over like mid third quarter when they went up 24-0. It was like, all right, this is probably a wrap. Like I don't see Alabama coming back, and I mean, just kudos to Indiana and Signetti. They are the most complete team right now in the playoffs. Like offense, defense, special teams, running the ball, throwing the ball. They're the most complete team. I got kind of fooled. Like it's still weird to see Indiana do this. I got kind of fooled going into this game because I ended up taking Alabama plus I think 7 was it. I thought they could cover the 7 because you just look at the two uniforms. It's like Alabama's not going to lose by more than a touchdown to this team. It's like, no, they're going to lose by 35. So it's like, damn. And it could have been a lot worse. Like Indiana kind of called off the dogs a little bit at the end there. Like Indiana was by far the better team, and they looked like the most complete team in the country. And they had to get to Alabama and DeBoer. Like the whole year, they were super one-dimensional. They couldn't run the football. And so it's like it was all on Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson's a good quarterback, but he's not a quarterback that you could just like, okay, go win us the game. Like go the game's on your back, like win us the game. And that showed. I mean, he was getting hit. He was like getting rattled early on. Then whatever happened to Ryan Williams, I think there's still like an APB out for him to figure out what happened to him and his hands. But like he's having issues. Your receivers weren't getting open. I'm with you with DeBoer because I think DeBoer's a good college football coach. I just think he's in the wrong spot. Like he's just the way he plays and coaches college football. It's not built for what Alabama's known for, especially coming off the heels of like a decade and a half, almost 2 decades of Nick Saban, where it's like, okay, we never lost 35-3. Like that was unthinkable lose 35-3 and get out physicaled by a Big Ten team like that. Like that was never something that you ever thought could happen under Nick Saban. And it's like, dude, you took this job. You knew the entire time you're going to be there, you're going to be compared to Nick Saban until you win a championship. So it's like you can't complain or make any excuses because that exactly was going to happen. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Simpson has to probably get in the portal. I don't think he's ready for the NFL. Maybe you go to Miami. I've heard Tennessee could be interested as well because Aguilar's out of I think he's out of years in college. So that could be an interesting spot there. But you have to go with Mac or Russell. You have to see what you got in them because you don't want one of them jumping in the portal and now you're going in the portal, having to start over. But yeah, next year is going to be pressure packed for Kalen DeBoer. I know it's weird because you just made the quarterfinals, but you also lost 4 games in the process. And one of those is Florida State too, which is really bad. So, and I think it's going to be pressure packed. Like Alabama is a spoiled fan base. They're a spoiled program where it's like they're just used to winning and winning a certain way. And even when you win, they're not even happy because they don't like the way you win. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think he's there for the long haul. Like you said, maybe coming back and beating Oklahoma was not a good thing because you lose that game, you probably could just like go run away and go to Michigan. And that I think is a better fit. That program is a better fit for you, and the Big Ten's a better fit for what he wants to do than being at Alabama. So, yeah, I think maybe if some jobs come open in the next couple of years, like a Penn State, like a Michigan, I think you might be hearing his name more because I just don't think the fit's there. I just don't think. And maybe reevaluate Ryan Grubb as an offensive coordinator. I thought he did not have a good year. Yeah, because their defense was okay, but their offense was just super one-dimensional. And it's like you have top recruits at running back. You're just not developing them.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I think Alabama's in a weird spot right now, and it could get a lot worse for them if Kiffin can get LSU going, if Ole Miss can stay going under Golding. Georgia's going to be there. What does the Tulane coach, what does he do at Florida? Tennessee is still around. A&M's going to be there, I think, for a while too. I like Elko at A&M. So it's like you could kind of fall off and be the middle of the pack, and that would not go over well, of course, at Alabama.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, especially because with Galesh at Auburn, your rival, if they get that thing going fast. Obviously, they're losing a lot of talent right now, so it's going to be really interesting to see how Galesh recruits and with the money he has, losing Deuce Knight, who's supposed to be the future, and then Cam Coleman, who's like a stud of a receiver.
Right.
But Ryan Grubb is having a bad last 2 years. Obviously, he was the offensive coordinator after being successful at Washington, get an opportunity to be the offensive coordinator for Seattle, and then getting fired, I think, after 1 year, and then coming back to college and offense was good, but it still wasn't like world beaters. It's like that's going to be rough, but I do think that a perfect school for DeBoer is Florida State for some reason.
Could be, yeah.
Obviously they are a broke, impoverished program right now, and that I don't know if he wants to be
big time
part of that. But because of it's kind of like the Cincinnati Bengals, because the team is so broke and poor that you can get away with job security because we can't afford the dead cap, or we can't afford the payout. So it's like, hey, I got to guarantee 5 years to try to make something work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I get a good 1 year and some other teams come knocking, you're going to be forced to give me a contract extension. So it's like you could kind of work your way into a loop. I also think that the Clemson job will come up in the next 2 years as well, which I would probably want that job over Florida State because they definitely have more resources than Florida State at this time. So that could be interesting. DeBoer could also just get fired and maybe have to be a coordinator somewhere, which would be wild. But
true.
Worse, obviously, if he just needs to kind of get some time to just kind of recoup and get back to where he needs to. Maybe Missouri, if Drakewitz gets a job offer next year, a big job offer from Missouri.
Right.
But yeah. let's talk about the semifinal. And let's talk about these matchups and get a little predictions going. Because I'm excited for this round. I was
Same.
at first when I was like, okay, I was watching the Indiana Alabama game to start off the day. I was like, no, it was Oregon first. I was like, oh my goodness, this is not going to be like, what is this? Like, we had a sandwich, we had a good game on was it Wednesday night, and then Thursday night, good game. So, but in the middle, it was a lot of not good games. So I was like, damn, not another week of bad football. Which, I mean, I'm hoping that these last two games are going to be really good for us. But Miami versus Ole Miss, I think that's the game I'm like the most excited about, because like it's like a new energy. It's a program that finally is going to get an opportunity to get this like that center stage, that brand exposure more. Obviously, Miami has that tradition of being so good, but that hasn't been since the early 2000s, the 90s, when the Miami the U was so dominant. I think we could be possibly on the way back to that.
Right.
And with Ole Miss, it's like a perfect storyline of, your coach left you because he didn't think you could win. Like, and which is crazy that he got you to this point and he didn't think I can win here long term. And now it's like, we just beat Georgia. We just beat they beat Tulane. And it's like, yo, we are one win away from playing in the national championship in spite of you leaving.
Right, exactly.
So it's like, F you, Lane. Like, I think I saw
pretty much
from the defense, one of the D tackles was like, you just wanted to make this whole thing about yourself and you wanted the attention. That's why we're winning this game. And they're playing disciplined, smart football. Like, they look like a real quality team, which they are.
Right.
So I just don't know. I don't know which way I want to go. I want Ole Miss to win it. I do. But this Miami, it's something about this Miami team, man, that is just like, it's ugly on offensive side of the ball. So it's like, which defense will make enough stops? I think, I think Miami has the edge in terms of defense. Ole Miss definitely has the edge in terms of offense. Who has the edge in terms of situational play? Probably Ole Miss. So I just don't know which way I lean. Where do you go?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small spread too. Miami's 3.5. It's a Fiesta Bowl, so I mean, it's Arizona, so they both got to travel a while too. So there's no advantage there. This is a tough one. So I mean, I'll be honest, I'm going to be rooting. Not that I have anything against Miami. I'll be rooting for Ole Miss just because of the story, the Kiffin thing. I think it's just it'd be a cool story to see them in the national championship, especially if they won it. But yeah, I think this is an interesting, guys, like what Miami did to like Julian Sayin, can they do that to Chambliss? And Sayin's a good quarterback, but he's a pocket guy. Like Chambliss is he's a lot more mobile and he's going to move around and get away from some of those sacks. But how many times can they get after him? How healthy is Lacey? He got kind of banged up a little bit in the last couple of games. Like they're going to need him a lot in this game because they're going to have to get a run game going. So they're not just dropping back and letting that Miami pass rush just get after things. And then on the Miami side, it's like, can you just continue to just pound the rock, just run the ball? Carson Beck's making a throw here or there, but he's not asked to do a lot. This Ole Miss defense has gotten better. I think they can kind of put some pressure on Beck a little bit as well. I think you can score upon that. I mean, Georgia had 34 points, so it's not like they shut down Georgia. So I don't know. I've been back and forth on this game. I think Miami, just because of the lines of scrimmage, especially their pass rush, is the right favorite in this game. But Ole Miss, I think, is just team on a mission. Chambliss, outside of Mendoza right now, and you can maybe make a case that he's playing better than Mendoza. He is the best quarterback, and he's the best quarterback in that game. So, and he's playing like the best quarterback in the country right now. So if he's just on a heater, maybe they just kind of ride that out. I'll probably take Ole Miss to cover plus 3.5 would probably think is what I'd probably do. But yeah, this is a tough game. I think this should be a really good game. And with Ole Miss, it's like you just keep that magic rolling. And can you kind of slow down that pass rush of Miami and not let them just kind of wreck your offensive game?
Dang, I kept thinking as you were talking, I flip flop. Honestly,
I know it's back and forth for sure.
I think I was leaning Miami, right? That's what I was going to get for my official prediction. but I'm going Ole Miss. I'm going Ole Miss to win just because of the fact that I think Ole Miss wins in the fourth quarter. And I just think Miami is so susceptible to making big time mistakes. I mean, both of these teams kind of have that gene that makes some big mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I just think with Paul Golding, I think he's going to be more Nick Saban-ish in terms of just really hammering not to make these crucial mistakes and just to keep fighting through because I think Miami is going to come out crazy. I think they're going to be like, a pack of wolves, but I just think Ole Miss will stay in the fight. They'll cover up. They'll make the plays that they need to make when Miami kind of tire themselves out. So I'm going to go Ole Miss wins this game 35-24.
Oh, that's a good spread too. I think I'm going to roll with Ole Miss too, but I'm going to go a little bit closer. I'm probably going to go like 31-28 kind of thing, like real close game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know. It's just something about, I just think that Miami's going to be like that first half. I think Miami's going to win the first half. So if I would do like Miami wins the first half spread or something like that. And then, but I just think Ole Miss is just going to find a way in the second half and just continue to make plays. And I think Miami's just going to burn out. That's just kind of how I feel right now. So, but I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a really good game to watch. Okay. Let's talk about the other game, which will be Indiana versus Oregon, a rematch, a Big Ten rematch. We're going to get the Big Ten versus either the ACC or the SEC in the national championship game. I don't know, man. This is tough. I don't necessarily want to go against Indiana because I think they were my with my heart team. I want to see them win this. Like Kurt Signetti, I'm a big Kurt Signetti fan, but I love Dan Lanning. So this is kind of tough for me. I love both of these coaches a lot. Who do you go with? I'm a Facet team.
All right. I know so it's weird for me because I bet that I had Indiana beating Alabama, but I had Bama covering the 7. And then I had Indiana losing to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. So they've already kind of proved me wrong twice. So it's I don't want to be beaten by that again. They just look like just so complete. This game's the Peach Bowl, so it's in Atlanta. So it's actually closer for Indiana, of course, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Oregon fans travel pretty well. There's a ton at the Orange Bowl, so I think there'll be a ton at the Peach Bowl. But you said earlier when we were talking about the Oregon Texas Tech game, Oregon I think does have another gear, especially with all their young players. Now they're getting all healthy, especially on offense. They have another gear, but I think Indiana they know who they are. They know what they're going to do, and it's we're going to play this way. We're not going to make mistakes. We're going to capitalize on your mistakes, and we're going to win the football game. So it's Oregon's got to play a clean game. Dante Moore's got to take care of the football. I love Dan Lanning, too. He's one of my favorite coaches in college football. He does have a tendency to get a little tight in some games where he goes for it on 4th down too often, tries to get a little over-aggressive. Can't let that happen in this game. You don't want to coach conservative but you don't want to be over-aggressive and make mistakes and kind of just play right into Indiana's hands. I'm going to roll with Indiana just because I think they're the most complete team. They're the Dante Moore, Mendoza. It's pretty close wash, but I'll take Mendoza over Dante Moore. This defense, I think, for Indiana still gets after it. This Oregon defense, like I said, I thought they played well against Texas Tech, but I thought a lot of that was Texas Tech playing poor on offense. JMU scored over 30 on them. A lot of that was garbage time after the game was over, so I don't know how much stock you put into that game, but this defense has given up points and has been scored upon, where it's this Indiana team just doesn't give up points. They don't make mistakes. They're just a clean team. And I think it's just a year. It's just a year of Indiana, which I never thought I'd say in college football. I think I don't know. It's just odd. It's still weird for me to look at Indiana in football in a semifinal game and look at them in the odds, and they're the favorite to win the national title. It's just odd to see that. But I think it is their year, so I think Indiana wins. I think Oregon keeps it close. So Oregon +4 might be the play there, like to keep it, but that's pretty close. It's a small spread.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a really good game. I just think Indiana is just that much better, like just more sound football team, more complete team. Where I think Oregon, you can see a little bit. But if Oregon reaches, because Oregon's got better athletes, like Oregon's got the better recruiting team, they got the better athletes. If they reach their potential in this game and reach that second gear, I wouldn't be shocked to see them win. But I'm going to go with Indiana just because I just think they're playing the best football of any team right now.
I am going to go with Oregon. And
Okay.
I'm going Oregon because I just think Oregon is getting better. And I think with that Dan Lanning and him really kind of learning from Kirby and Nick Saban of just continues to get better and play your best football towards the end of the year and find another gear. Now he's getting a couple players back. I think that's going to be the defining edge. I do think it's going to be an ugly game.
Could be, yeah.
Like 17-10 type game. Like I think it's going to be ugly. Maybe 17-14, something like that. I think it'll be close. Whoever gets the ball last, I feel like, for this game. But it could also be, I just think Oregon might just, found their way, their stride. And yeah, I don't know. Something just tells me Dan Lanning is going to find a way. Like he's going to get his defining moment he needs as a coach, as a head coach. And I think he has that moment in this game. And especially the fact that he keeps playing across the country. I feel like there's something about that in Atlanta. I mean, he knows Atlanta. He knows
he
it.
does.
And he's right at home
where
he wants to be.
Right.
So I'm going to go Oregon 17, Indiana 14. And it's going to be Oregon versus, who did I say? Oregon versus Ole Miss in the national championship, which sounds crazy.
That does. That'd be fun, though. I mean, either matchup, any of the four teams playing each other, I think is a good matchup. And I like that we got like new teams too.
Exactly. The parity. This is the whole parity thing. People were complaining about how boring it is, but we got there though. I think we got there with new giants in a sense. I mean, because even still, like Oregon has money, so like it's a team that still has money versus teams that are kind of built by coaching and connections. So I mean, but obviously the money that Indiana is receiving with these wins, I mean, that's going to be huge for that department, like
big time
for the athletic department. I mean, that's like what 14 million they're going to get, maybe 7. I can't remember because I think 14 Miami got because it was 2 wins.
Right.
I don't know if it's going to be 14 if it was just 14 for that quarterfinal win or not. But either way, it's going to be a lot of money for them to reinvest. So, and then we'll see if Kirk Cignetti after next season can keep his coordinators. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to have to figure out, okay, who can we poach to kind of help us and give, and it also take away from Indiana. Maybe people don't want to even be, people don't want to be head coaches. They might just stay at Indiana.
True.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. There we have it. I think we're set up for a really fun semifinal on the 9th. So next weekend, I'm really excited for it. Oregon plays at 7:30, and I think the other game is at. Let's see if I can find it.
I think they're both. I think it's like Thursday, Friday, 7:30 apiece. Yeah. 7:30 Eastern time apiece.
Yeah, so 7:30 Thursday and Friday, which is kind of weird, but
because they don't want to compete with first round playoffs against the NFL, so that's why they're playing Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. So, but it's all good. All good for college football. I mean, I got something to watch pretty much every day.
True.
It's
a great weekend.
Yeah. So,
5 days of football, because there's the Monday night games, which I still think is weird. Monday night playoff games, but
different advantage for those teams, and then a disadvantage whoever wins that game.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So, any other news that you want to talk about that happened We got some speculations of some quarterbacks moving places. Sam Levitt possibly going to Kentucky. I think the quarterback from Kentucky is going to Arizona State, so that's kind of a trade.
A little bit of a trade, yeah.
We still don't know where Austin Simmons is going to go. He entered the portal. Marcel Reed is coming back to Texas A&M.
I saw that, yeah.
You
still got like Lagway, Raiola.
Yeah, Lagway's taking a visit to Florida State.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
That is odd.
Oh, Noah Fafita entered the portal. I love Noah Fafita a lot.
I didn't see that. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
I was a big fan of Noah Fafita. Yeah. Obviously, Jed Fish left Arizona to go to Washington. So I thought that was his natural moving point when he had his best season. So maybe he goes to
to Washington with Jed Fish.
Yeah, so I kind of can see that. Maybe he might get an opportunity to go to maybe a bigger school. I think he's a good quarterback. Obviously, he's a little undersized. But I mean, he's a winner, man. Like, I think that's why I fell in love with him, learning like how much he won in high school and like how good he was in high school. And he just continued and played as a true freshman at Arizona. Obviously, having Tedderone McMillan and Coleman and having they had talent at Arizona they had good talent.
They did. Yeah.
And then obviously a lot of them left. So it's kind of tough for them. But I just think I think he's a good quarterback. And I think he'll be serviceable to a team that might need a quarterback. Will Texas A&M or not Texas A&M, Texas Tech take a flyer on them? Maybe they'd be looking a little bit bigger. Yeah. Will Florida take a flyer? I think Florida's going after the Georgia Tech quarterback who never played.
Yeah, which is the backup too. Not even the backup to King. Yeah, but someone like that. I've heard people say like he was supposed to be the next big thing. It's like, okay, well, I guess.
But if he was, then why is he playing? Like, because Haynes King started over him, and then he also left. He was either at Auburn or Tennessee, I think, before he went to Georgia
This is
Tech.
his second team. It's like so, yeah.
I don't know.
Odd. And you got some good skill position, like obviously Cam Coleman's in there, Nick Marsh from Michigan State. That's a good player too, that wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's some good talent in the transfer portal, of course, as always. And there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. There's probably about 6 or 7 like starting level quarterbacks. Mestamaker went to Oklahoma State, which was like no shock. He just followed his coach there and committed there yesterday. So maybe that helps them a little bit. Yeah, it'll be Levitt going to Kentucky. I thought that was interesting. He'll be playing with Will Stein now, so maybe that helps a little bit. But I thought he regressed big time this year. Like he was like supposed to be a first round pick, and now you're in the transfer portal. So it's like that did not go well. And like Kentucky
this year,
and like who's he gonna be playing? Like Kentucky's they don't really. I mean, Arizona State, Kentucky, like they don't probably have like a better roster. So and now you got to play SEC defenses every week. So. I don't know. Like I thought Louisville could have been a good spot for him. You go play with Jeff Brom. You play in the ACC. A little bit easier schedule. But
no Fafita, Jeff Brom, DJ Lagway.
That could be fun. Yeah, that could be fun. I've heard DJ Lagway to Baylor too has got some rumor. I was like, who's coaching there at Baylor? That's odd. That's that's a pretty decent step down. So, yeah.
I think Josh Hoover, is going to be the next quarterback at Indiana. Which
I saw that, which
I thought was a little. I think Josh Hoover is a good quarterback. Let me not disrespect Josh Hoover because he was actually he's a good quarterback. I mean, even though he has a few odd things he likes to do off the field, but he was whatever. I don't want to kink shame anybody or anything.
Right.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously, Kurt Signetti, he knows how to develop quarterbacks. He had who do you have the first year? Was it
Rorick? I think something like that.
Yeah, because he was Ohio. He was an Ohio transfer.
Yeah, Curtis Rorick.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go.
Kind of. Yeah.
He was playing with 2 broke AC. He had like an ACL tear. He played the whole season with. Yeah. And then now this year he had Fernando Mendoza, who's obviously won the Heisman. Pretty good for him.
Right.
So I mean, I think Hoover he has the arm talent like that. I mean, I think
a lot of people
expect more from TCU. So I think that was a pretty good hire for them. And now they can roll with Mike Shanahan and see how that goes with him and their system.
Right.
I thought they were going to go after Cincinnati quarterback who's the
Sorsby.
Yeah.
I said he sounded like he might go to LSU and play for Kiffin.
Yeah. Oh, not Sorsby.
Oh, Raiola.
No, not Raiola. Definitely not Raiola. Nesson. What is the quarterback from Texas, North Texas?
Oh, Mestamaker, the one that just went to Oklahoma State. Yeah.
Yeah. He was in negotiations with Indiana at first, so he was their first choice. Yeah. Which would have been great because he's a sophomore. He would be a sophomore, so you would at least get 2 years out of him. Versus, I think Hoover will have like 1 more year. So again, like you'd be kind of doing the same thing over again. Which in theory, like you should be trying to get the freshman and like that's what Oregon did last year. They got Dante Moore because they know they wanted him for the future, so they can give him a year in the system, and then when it's his time to start, and then they got Dylan Gabriel, who was a veteran, who's given one last year to kind of compete right now. Like that's the system I think you should be doing every 2 years. And you bring a veteran in, you bring a young kid, whether it's high school or a young guy who didn't get opportunity to start, like Aaron Nolan. Like I want to see Aaron Nolan play. I'm still mad at why Aaron Nolan went from Ohio State to South Carolina and obviously I guess he thought Sellers was going to be a one and done and next year would be his year, but then
maybe
Sellers didn't have that great year and he came back, so now Aaron Nolan's in the portal trying to find another place to play, which is like at this point, dude, like where can you play at, and try to start. And I was really a big fan of Aaron Nolan, but like if he's not beating out, obviously Julian Sagan is really good. But so you couldn't beat out Julian Sagan, you couldn't beat out Lenore Sellers, which I think he's solid, but I don't think he's that great.
Right. No.
Like, how good are you? So we'll see if he's going to have to go G5, maybe like a UNLV or a Boise State or something like that just to play. We'll see.
Right. And then the what's the Auburn's Deuce Knight? He's in there too.
I'm excited to see. I think he should still have 4 years of eligibility because I don't think he played.
Yeah, I think he redshirted. Yeah,
so that's good.
It looks like Golish is just going to bring was it Byram Brown?
Yeah, he should have won the Heisman. He had great numbers.
He had a great year. Just if he did those numbers at Florida and not South Florida, then he is the Heisman Trophy winner. It's like shit. But I think he just follows
yards,
Golish.
30 touchdowns. I'm like, this is what a Heisman winner looks like. No disrespect to Mendoza, but sheesh.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what Golish does at Auburn this year. It's going to be tough for sure.
It'll be. Yeah. Might be a couple roughish years, but hey, if Bama starts to slide a little bit, maybe you can kind of take some of those guys too.
Yeah, Ole Miss might be taking Bama's spot, but we'll see. We'll see how they recruit. That's what's going to be so pivotal for them is how can Ole Miss continue to recruit? And was it all Lane Kiffin? Right? Like, was it? And like, I mean, shit, could Ole Miss take on the identity of being a defensive forward team? Like, that would be like
Golding,
refreshing.
That would be, but still get that offensive talent that Kiffin brought there as many of them stay. That'd be interesting. I mean, because that's kind of what wins at the end of the day. It's like you need that defense. Like, I mean, look at Miami, Oregon, Indiana, both play really good defense. So it's like that's kind of what wins most of the time. So that would be interesting to see. I mean, I think Ole Miss could, if Golding can kind of keep that train going a little bit, I definitely think they could be that team that kind of steps into that like number 2 or 3 area in the SEC. Maybe Texas A&M jumps in there. I still don't know. I think it might take Kiffin a couple of years because they are losing a decent amount of talent, but they're bringing in some recruiting, both high school, and I know he's probably going to like hit up the transfer portal a ton too. So what does LSU look like? What does Summerall do at Florida? How much portal does he lean on in the first couple of years? Yeah, it's interesting to see. And then like even like outside of the SEC, you got basically like the Penn State like Cyclones now because they're just stealing all Iowa State players. It's like I think they signed 4 Iowa State players yesterday.
Which I mean, Rocco Beck is a good quarterback, so that's good.
Yeah,
he might be their best quarterback they had in a while.
Since like gosh, Did he officially go there? I think he did. I think he did. And then they signed like the tight end, a couple offensive linemen. But I think
I'm interested to see how Michigan plays this year. Michigan, I mean, I think Whittingham said we're going to be a spread team that runs the ball a lot, which I mean, in theory, I would say it's similar to what Michigan, because Michigan was more of a pro-style team the last 5 or 7 years. So it's like,
right.
But I definitely think being a team that runs the ball, because I don't know, man. Bryce Underwood has some wonky mechanics. He has early wonky. Like, he obviously has natural talent. Like, obviously a freak show, 4, 250, whatever. He has some. Like, he's good, but it's like, will they have the right staff that's going to keep developing him and redefining how he can be? Because obviously they're paying him a lot of money. And does he have enough appeal? Obviously, he's going to bring some horses on the defensive side of the ball to keep them in games. But will they be able to have enough juice on that offensive side of the ball to keep going as well? So
yeah, he kind of reminds me, but he's going to have 3 years, at least 3 years of starting, so he'll have a better trajectory to the NFL. Kind of reminds me of like an Anthony Richardson, just like good athlete, good size, but just like mechanics are all over the place. I think he's better than Anthony Richardson, of course. But just, I mean, you watch him throw the ball sometimes. He's got that long delivery. He's kind of just inaccurate a lot of the times. But you can't. He's 6'5", 250, runs probably about a 4.5 40. So it's like you can't not like love that. And he's gonna start at least 3 years there unless he gets injured. So he'll have at least the development. But it'll be interesting because he was supposed to be like the best freshman quarterback we've seen in a while. He wasn't even the best freshman quarterback in their conference in the conference this year. So it's like, it'll be interesting. It's going to be an uphill battle, and Whittingham's a good defensive coach, but like, what's the best quarterback that's played there? Brian Johnson, probably.
Oh, you're going to expect, what's his name? Why am I blanking?
Oh, Cam Rising, probably.
Yeah. I saw Cam Rising in the mission. He said, hey, I got one more year in me.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, you could drive the rental car to work because he can do that now. I think he's like 27 now. But Whittingham's a really good coach, a really good defensive coach, but you just don't see him develop quarterbacks like Cam Rising. Alex Smith's the best quarterback from Utah, but that was Urban Meyer. That wasn't Whittingham. And Brian Johnson was pretty good for a little bit, but was never an NFL player. So he's got to get someone in there that can develop Bryce Underwood because
he might be off to LSU next year if it's not. So
if it's not, looks like he's staying for a year. Wants to see how Whittingham can do for him next year. But if it doesn't, like he doesn't get any development the next year, then you got to go play with the Kiffin or play with one of these offensive guys can prepare you for the NFL.
The thing is, anybody else going to pay him that amount of money that he's already getting paid? It's the question.
Not after like 2 mid-years, no.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think that's pretty much everything we got from now until the semifinal next week or this week, which I'm excited for, and I'm excited to break it down. Anything else you wanted to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I think we covered everything. Excited for those matchups, and we'll react to them on Sunday, and that'll be fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. And we appreciate you guys for watching the first Saturdays Are Sacred of 2026. So we're getting into our prime as as we rev up into the national championship game. 2 more games or 3 more games left of this cycle, and we're so excited for it. We're so thankful you guys came and watched and hung out with us. We will catch you guys next Sunday. Keep your Saturdays very sacred.
Always. See you, man.
Snap back, quarterback rolling right. He's looking end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
Saturdays Are Sacred, a football podcast.